All right, let's get this thing moving. Boom, boom. All right, let's get some volume here. I think I'm all right with the volume. Let's see. Test, 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 test. All right, I think I'm okay. Hey, hey. All right. So, uh, so let's get the show rolling. Time to start complaining. All right. Time for myself to advocate for myself because that's all that's happening. The people that are responsible for taking care of trying to get me some advocacy aren't doing their job. I like to be nasty about it and start swearing and stuff, but that don't get me nowhere, right? So I'm going to try to make it clean as possible. So we have all these things going on, right? Here's another excuse of um, why stuff isn't getting done for me for 8 years, 8 to 10 years, why stuff hasn't been getting done. Currently, we got a lot of stuff going on the news, don't we? So I'm going to point it out because this is the stuff that is going to be addressed to me in addition to, well, we also have a lot of stuff going on in the country that we need to take care of. I thought I was part of taking care of that, right? We got Russia. Oh, everybody's afraid of Russia now. You know, making backdoor deals with the Biden administration to try to compromise with some I'm guessing on annexation of some land. Give Russia the opportunity to have some access to that seaport, right? But yet, but yet, Russia's going to do what Russia wants to do, right? That's one issue, and everybody's scared. Can't get nobody to commit to, hey, if we all gather together like we're supposed to and tell Russia, tired of your, we're tired of your game. We're tired of you being, a bully. And if you want to play, let's play. Everybody's scared. What are you scared of? You scared of dying? Scared of a nuclear explosion? That's too damn bad that happens. But there's a thing called sacrifice. I know about it. Bunch of scary cats. And it don't help that we got Grandpa up in the White House, does it? It don't help. I'm with that. I'm on that plan. The guy, without even hearing anything about Joe Biden, I already knew before when they were, when folks were saying, "Oh, he's going to run," I just thought, my Lord, without even getting feedback from anybody, any news outlet, I knew he was going to be an old geezer trying to run something, don't know where he, just his personality. The most, I said it in the beginning, the most disrespected president in our history thus far. And he didn't even start. So some things are just so obvious, people. They're just so obvious that when it presents itself, and this is in relation to my disability, when it presents itself, it's almost like people are shocked. Oh my God, what's going on here? Can you believe it? They don't know what to do, don't know how to handle it. It's the same thing that's happening to me. Well, some soldiers come back and the stuff don't manifestate until later. Sometimes it's rare that it happens, but it happens. I'm a prime example of it. How much more proof do I need to try to convince doctors in my community or had know about my situation? I actually got on a tele video with somebody in New York. I don't know where the heck it was. This doc, I knew just by the doctor's look in his eyes that this doctor was just going to go along to get along. I just knew it. So I can relate to what's going on, right? People are scared of Russia. It's okay to be scared, but you got to do something, all right? There's people who aren't, little pussy cats running around here in the United States. I'm one of them. Can't be pussyfooting around just because they have nuclear weapons. Oh, I'm scared. Oh Lord, I'm scared. Oh, I'm scared. Yeah, well, you're a bunch of wussies. That's what you are. You know, he ain't gonna do a damn thing, Putin. He ain't gonna release nothing. We have to be firm, and we got to keep being consistent with being firm. We don't have to. We don't have to. You know. Oh no, we're not gonna. Putin, we're not gonna let you push it. We're not. We don't have to do that. We are already the United States of America. We don't need to prove ourselves. All we got to do is be consistent with making our decisions. Hey, let's get everybody around. Get Ukraine into NATO, and let's stop playing around. This is exactly what's going on with my case. Oh no, now we got to deal with this Black Lives Matter stuff. This woke agenda. Yeah, how about dealing with something for 8 to 10 years? A narrative that's going around that nobody wants to stop kicking this can down the road with my medical status. You know what sucks about that? You know what sucks is that it's a personal attack. It's an attack toward me. Okay, and the stuff that I'm not getting, it's an attack. It's not something where they're just like, okay, yeah, we'll get to you in about 8 years. We need to let this TBI manifestate until you lose. We have to cut one of your legs off. We have to let this TBI manifestate until you die. Oh, did I say die? It's absurd. Just because we got people in the administration right now that don't know how to, well, I wouldn't say they don't, they know how, but they're trying to find a way to not upset or do something in a different way to address situations without trying to do it the best way, which is mostly the way the Republicans do it, and some Democrats, they're along with it, right? That's all I see, man. Look, I'm a realist. All right, I'm a realist. I see things the way they are, and I try to give the most objective opinion about it because it's silly. We got to be real careful. No, no, you have to be careful. We already know what we need to do. Okay, this isn't about snapping your fingers and oh no, they ain't gonna happen to us. We got to get that done. No, 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 no. We already can do it. We just need to be consistent about putting our foot down on it and say, yeah, this is what we do, and that's the way it is. That's what Putin's doing. That's what Putin is. That's what Russia does all the time. They're consistent with always being aggressive. Why can't we be consistent with saying, hey, that's not going to happen? For every action, there is a reaction. That's who we're supposed to be. All right, we do it for the rest of the world. Bunch of fraidy cats. So that in relation to my situation is the same thing. I got a bunch of fraidy cat pussyfoot doctors that I have ran into that tried to address my situation. I can't even say try. Who addressed my situation and fails. They failed because they haven't progressed and forwarded to this day to try to get my status in some position to get the care I need, to get the benefits I deserve, to get the medical curiosity for somebody to say, "Hey, that's an interesting situation you're in. I'd like to study that." I'd be more than happy to give time to have these people study my situation. Because it's been completely absurd that I've been battling for 8 to 10 years trying to get what supposed to be what's supposed to be a standard operating procedure through the VA and the military, right? Haven't had one person made a decision because everybody's too damn scared and too damn worried about what's going to happen to them. You know what's happening to me? Yeah, nobody gives a shit about what's happening to me, or else it would have been done. It would have been addressed already. So what would you call it? Oh, we just, you just been slipping through the cracks. And so I literally sat down with people looking at me in the dysfunction that I am in. How much more evidence do you need to help me? Someday you will get the help you need. Oh, well, that's interesting. How do I need to pray? Or is there a policy, is there a standard operating procedure that guys like me and women go through to try to get some of this stuff in line, in order? Is there a process? I think there is a process, but I still need to pray, right? Because praying is important when it comes to my health going down so fast that I feel like I don't even have time I don't even know where to go now to try to get this, because I've been denied through the VA, been denied outside the VA, and this is a narrative. People, this isn't a standard operating procedure. This is a narrative that's being pushed around. Oh no, we got to find the silver lining on this situation. You see? Like, wait a minute. Okay, so all these other folks that come back from overseas that got Purple Hearts, they got TBI, because, getting a TBI is an automatic Purple Heart, right? It's like a benefit you get. Oh no, we got to find the silver lining on this one. It's like, I present them, the manifestation has presented itself, and then all of a sudden, it's like, well, all these other fellows and girls get back with these TBIs. They're walking around playing tennis, football, doing all that thing. But here I am with the most obvious symptoms of having the TBI and the story. And I can't even get a person to open a book at the VA and say, "Hey, well, here's the policy and procedure we need to follow through with. Let's go this route." I haven't received a damn, not even a courtesy of having somebody say, "Yeah, we're going to follow through in a more administrative way, because we already did all the medical stuff we can possibly do to try to get some sort of diagnosis for you, and you're an anomaly. So we're gonna stop giving you medical diagnosis for stuff that we can't figure out because it's so specific to something in your motor function in your brain that it's just really impossible for us to see it at this point in time or at any time. But we do know that you're having a motor dysfunction. Where would you get that motor dysfunction? Where would you get something like that? My family doesn't have any history of having motor dysfunction. My family doesn't have any history of having any psychological uh, um, um, issues with pretending like they're injured, or having or some behavioral problems, or my family grew up poor. All we were worried about was what was our next meal, and we couldn't even think about what we didn't even know what the term medical issues was. What's a medical? Oh, I got you. Yeah, I ain't got none of that. I can't afford to have a medical issue. But now that I'm in, supposedly in an operation, in a government run operation that the people pay into so that we get taken care of, I can't get somebody to tell me that I'm lying, even tell me straight up that I'm lying, and I need to go to court so I can get this thing rolling. Let's just get to the worst part of it, right? Hey, VA, do you want to take me to court and say this guy's lying? Let's try to get him to stop lying by court. To do something. It's completely irresponsible. It's completely a failed. It's a completely failed. It's a completely failed uh, effort to try and apply the SOPs to me through the VA, which the most uh, 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 plausible SOP would be the benefit of the doubt clause. And I understand why they created that clause. The benefit of the doubt. You give the soldier the benefit of the doubt when doctors are too scared and pussyfooting around situation because of liability insurance, and they can't commit because their hands are tied. That's why the benefit of the doubt clause is created in the Veterans Administration. What the hell is the benefit of the doubt clause? When it looks like a duck, it sounds like a duck, it's a duck. It's not a rooster. It's not a dog. You know what's even worse is that I've complained several times to certain people that have the power, that have the ability to move my situation forward in an SOP manner to address my case, to settle my situation to the right departments, to the right medicine and the right care, the right benefits, and to give me a change of medical status, both through the VA and military, stamp that damn thing and say, hey, we this thing has progressed into a situation where it's A, B, and C. So we have to change his medical status into this because this is what he's going through. This is his story. This is exactly what the SOP is for. And these folks that I've complained to more than once still go home, go to bed, nice and easy, and not worried about anything that's going on with somebody who's been complaining to them, who's desperate to try and apply all these SOPs and whatever it is that needs to get myself situated in the VA and the service. It's almost as though, hey, he'll somebody will take care of it. So we have all these issues. My elected officials, we got Russia, we got the woke thing going on. We have we have Hunter Biden. We have we got the vaccinations. We have all these things happening, and the priority is, for me, is 8 to 10 years of waiting. That's the priority I've been given, and that's just the time. As far as somebody trying to address my situation, there is no priority. All our dignitaries, my Republican friends and my Democrat friends, who I've already reached out to, some of them one time, some of them two times, some of them no times, but I've done enough complaining for 8 to 10 years. I've done my research. I'm smarter than some people who are nurses' aides, because I've been studying for 8 to 10 years about my situation. Don't you think that I would have been studying what the hell's going on with me? Hey, why am I losing motor function? What causes my motor function? What does the brain do when it does A, B, and C? What happens when I do this? What happens when I do that? Why did it do this? Why did it manifestate in a little bit later? Why did the back, why? I've done it all. So when I get a lot of BS from people, every time I go into a medical facility, so you can't move your legs? No. I've seen you. I had to reload this thing. So I've heard just about every excuse, but the excuse going on today is what? What is the excuse today? Well, we just got so many issues we got to deal with. We're trying to get Republicans back in the White House, and if we don't, you're not going to get any help at all. And so I've heard it all. You know what I'd like is when I send out information to try to get some attention, just some feedback, some positive feedback for, hey, I have this situation. Can you help me? And I get this general notice, this general note that comes back to me and says, yeah, thanks for reaching out to our office. We will look into, this and that. Kirsten Cinema's office, they tell me, oh, you have an open case. Oh, that's really helping me. Oh, I feel like I'm making some progress now. I'm telling you, people, I could help myself if somebody would give me the authority to stamp my own damn papers. You know what I would like to do is I'd like to run the VA and say, look, this is what we got to do. This is how you make decisions, people. This is how you deal with decisions that are wrong. This is how you deal with decisions that need to be worked out. This is what's going on. This is how you present yourself as a leader. Those are big words, you know. So our dignitaries, our representatives for Arizona and beyond. I've done it beyond the Veterans Select Committee in Washington D.C. I've reached out to. You guys know who our brothers and sisters are. Some of them don't have legs. Some are combat veterans. Some are not combat veterans. Where are those folks? I reached out to them. They said they're going to call me back. Some fella said, "Yeah, I'll have somebody reach back out to you." Is it not important to follow through with that? When somebody calls and says, "Hey, this is my situation. This is what's going on." It's like somebody who calls a suicide hotline. Do you just say, "Yeah, we'll get back with you," which some folks have? That situation has presented itself. But is that what you're supposed to do? Hey, yeah, let me. I'm going to eat right now, so can I get back with you on this phone call? That's how I've been feeling. It's not serious enough. Okay, it's not serious enough. It seems that my situation is in a critical state, and somebody somewhere somehow needs to take it serious and say, "Look, um, let's open up a case with this situation, and let's all get on board with it, and put him in the proper position he needs to be in." It's too easy, folks. It's too easy. And the reason why it's been 8 to 10 years is because I've been following suit. I've been following what everyone has been telling me to do. Don't do this. Don't do that. If you do this, you're going to do this, and you're not going to be able to file for it again. Well, if you do, I didn't know nothing about any of that stuff. Do you? Some people do. I didn't have to go to school for it. I didn't get taught how to read these forms, which forms to file, where to find them, how to present myself to the Veterans Administration, which part of the Veterans Administration I need to address, why they're different departments. That's stuff that I have hashed out a long time ago. So I cannot get a doctor to commit to saying all the stuff that you've been through has been wrong. Some of it's right, but you know what? We got to scratch this and mostly do a reboot on following through with the TBI. Not a back injury, not a hand injury, but a TBI. I shouldn't have to even go through damn evaluation going from 8 to 10 years to get an evaluation for a TBI. I should be granted a TBI just for the time and all the medical tests that already have been done on me to figure out what's going on with my situation. And all these tests that have been done for 8 to 10 years, folks, and I'm telling you, test after test. You can imagine how much money has been spent on me trying to find the silver lining. These aren't tests like once a year. No, one test a year. No, I've been having dozens of tests. Dozens. Every time, every month. Okay? Like I told you, I even got misdiagnosed for having a stroke, which I could do myself. Oh, you know what? Maybe I had a stroke. That's exactly what these doctors did. I think maybe you had a stroke. Maybe. Okay, hold on a minute now. I'm losing motor function. You see me struggling here. You have no idea what I do every single damn day when I wake up in the morning till I go to bed. And even when I'm in bed, I can't even sleep comfortably. I can't even sleep. My body hurts. I flip around like a pancake. It's no joke, people. And I've learned, I've told you, my character, this is important. My character is to tough it out. I've been like that since I was a kid, and I'm still like that today. I'm going to be like that when I die. I tough it out, people, because that's the natural thing to do. I'm not a weak person. All right. If I get injured, I want to assess it myself. That's what keeps me alive. That's what keeps me moving forward. Or you could be the kind of person that just gives up. Well, that may be you, but that's not me. All right. So all my elected officials, all of you guys, all you elected Republicans, you Democrats, I'm a Republican. Okay. And to me, with my critical medical dysfunction I have, I don't need demographics to get the care I need. I don't need to look into going to the right club. And like I said, I've had trouble with some dignitaries, some of my Republican friends, arguing with people over the phone, their staff, who are the most stupidest people, I tell you. I don't know where they get these people. I don't know why they don't vet. These soldiers. Oh yeah, well I've been trained to deal with veterans. It's a bunch of bullshit. They don't know how to even deal with themselves. They're trying to deal with cases like myself. Ignorance, arrogance. I had to literally argue with staff members, and one I always can point out would be Debbie Lesko's. I've argued with Ron Barber when he was around. I've argued with John McCain's people, to where some of them have said, hey, I'm sorry. Yes, let's try to get you in a position where we're supposed to address instead of arguing with you. Some of them was unresolvable. They just hung up on me, right? Like my doctor that I just got fired with, Joanna Evans is her name, you know, arguing with the damn Mexican that she hired. I don't know if it's a Mexican, but I can say that because I am Mexican, and I have a problem with that. The Mexicans, they are quick to come up with an attitude. I'm telling you, and it's not just Mexican, but Mexicans are great. All right, but when it comes to arguing with the Mexican, you have no luck. They will hang up on you, and you guys know I'm telling you the truth. I'm trying to be funny on that, but I'm not. These damn Mexicans. I probably be the same way. Have an attitude. Oh, you don't argue with me. Instead of trying to deal with the actual situation. And it's the same way in everybody. I try to get my point across, and I explain to them, hey, I have this motor dysfunction. It's taking all my body functions away. That apparently, people, is not enough. It's not enough to get somebody's attention. Instead, I have to deal with these people's attitude. And that's why I point out the Mexican, because they give me the hardest time. These administrative people act like they've been to Harvard, and they created the front desk. Oh yeah, I'm a professional at this. Damn it, you just do your job and you get me where I need to be. Don't argue with me. I'm the veteran. I literally had to say that. Look, I'm the veteran. I'm calling you. Why am I arguing with you? Because they're too damn smart. That's why. The dumb educated. They go to University of Phoenix and they get these little tiny degrees and they think, or just a degree, and they think they run the world. Well, hey, I got something for you. Do you know how to dress as a veteran who has a severe critical disability? Sounds like he's doing okay though. He has this nice. He has charisma. He has all this stuff. Thank the Lord. But how do you deal with that? Well, they don't know. My Republican friends, where are you? Where in the hell are you? Democrat people, where in the hell are you? The people with the power, where are you? Who cares what the situation is going to be? Do I have to get an attorney? Well, then help me frickin' support me to try to acquire one. This isn't a matter of, well, oh no, we can't do that. Hey, we all know the rules now. We all know that we have more leverage against the VA. I'm in a situation that requires upfront honesty, stuff that needs to be addressed immediately. Immediately. I've already waited 8 to 10 years to try to get this stuff. I'm falling apart. Lattice don't work. My shoulders don't work. Very specific muscles are dysfunctional. I have heart palpitations. I told you I just recently started forgetting where I am completely. My energy is shot. I was a horse. When I was able-bodied person 8 to 10 years ago, I was a horse. I was an ox, man. This is affecting my energy where I have to manipulate to try to unlock my knees and sit down, jump off the wheelchair, do this. All these things take energy. And when you have a function that is dysfunction, a motor function, your muscles don't work and this body part don't work, it takes 4 times as much effort to try to manipulate to move it. And that's just trying to get it kinetically moved. Kinetics. We're trying to get an effort to do it, involuntarily, which is most of my stuff. I have to jerk my body around in order to activate the central nervous system just to get a fight or flight response, it seems, just to get it to move in some direction. That energy has to come from somewhere, people. It has to come from somewhere. Where does it come from? I can't exercise because if I exercise, my body thinks that I'm hurting myself. I have a dysfunctional nervous system, people. Dysfunctional nervous system. When I explain it to our elected officials, when I explain it to the doctors who I'm looking straight at in the eyes, and they see me, it's almost as though I'm not there, right? It's like my arms, if my arm was falling off my shoulder and I was, having a good time with it, they would ignore it. Oh yeah, his arm's coming off. Yeah, okay, here we're gonna deal with that. At what point does it become a critical concern, a medical curiosity, a responsibility? Instead of me trying to point out your guys' job, at what point, people, does it become a matter? My elected officials don't seem to want to address it. I've called them. I've called them. I've written letters. I've called them. I got proof of letters I've written to. I can't even remember how many people I've written. DAV, I've been, and those of you that are just catching up, I'm telling you, you got to look at my previous posts. I've been to every single organization. I get upset when I see, Wounded Warrior Project has changed a little bit, right? That does change. I always say people don't change, but an organization does change when you create different SOPs and stuff. But people don't change, they learn. And obviously the people I'm dealing with haven't learned that I have a critical issue. They have not learned, or they have learned to ignore my case and pawn it off to this anomaly state. Pawn it off to, hey, let's just, if we don't have a diagnosis, let's just keep going on with it. Maybe someday he'll get a diagnosis from a doctor who gives a damn. That's like like I'm rolling the dice. And I get upset. I get my mental anguish is off the roof, people. It's fucking out of the world, off this world, man. I get upset because I see the Wounded Warrior Project. Oh, we don't leave soldiers behind. Shut the hell up. Paralyzed Veterans of America, I just got through writing them. I got 0. I wrote Newsmax. Am I writing the wrong people? Am I putting in something and sending it and it goes to La La Land? Am I supposed to have a different piece of information that is so secret? I gotta get it from somewhere. It's not the shit that you put on the internet. It's not the right information I need to get. It's always some sort of explanation, people, about why I'm not being addressed. It's always something. Oh, that's not the email. Oh, you know what? We just throw that email out there, and you write there, and nobody gets it. Well, who in the hell am I supposed to contact? Once you put the proper information, whose job is it to do that when you're dealing with people like myself? So you just put that out there so people who really need the help are just being played. Do you think that's responsible? No, there's no excuse, people. There's no excuse for people's actions. Wounded Warrior Program. They don't leave soldiers behind. They left me behind. They've contacted me as soon as I started talking. Hey, I have this one. I tried to explain to them. I did not get a call back. And this has been years in the making, folks. They've called me several times. I've been to some of their organization, whatever their programs, and I've accepted money from other people to give to the Wounded Warrior Program. Paralyzed Veterans of America, I started biking when I was able to do that with them, to try to get into a program with them so I can get the assistance also. DAV, I went to the Veterans Health Administration here in Tucson. I tried to get with them, and they keep telling me, hey, you got to do this first in order to do that. And so it comes to a point where I get stuck because doctors don't want to commit to help me to get to the next level. That's what I've been dealing with for 8 to 10 years. Purple Heart, or Order of Purple Heart, going to them, the same thing. They've helped me out more, but the same thing. hey, you have to have this in order to get here. And if you can't get here, then we got to find a way to do it. Just another irresponsible way to run around the SOP, to go around the standard operating procedure, to neglect the seriousness of my medical situation. It's a critical medical situation, people. As I'm sitting here, as I'm sitting here, my elected officials, they're going to put on their blinders when it comes to me. They're going to put on their, their hearing muffs when it comes to me, until it actually becomes such a problem, right, that it would be my fault. Oh, we just didn't know about this. If you would have went to, the DAV, if you would have went to the VFW, if you would have contacted the medical supervisors at the VA, if you would have contacted your state representative, if you would have contacted Congress, done it all, folks. I've done it. I've been to programs that are run under the government, that they work with the government, and they do things on the side. They try to help out soldiers. They created some programs. Some of them work in a sub-government sort of operation, and they give you a process of how to file for this, how to file for that, what form you need, where and when and why to file it. Don't do this before you do that. There's a lot of that going on, people. A lot of that. Don't do this before you do that. Because if you do this and you do that, then you're not able to do it again. And so in my critical state, I'm thinking, the hell with all you guys and your forms. Somebody needs to fill these forms out for me and be like, this guy is beyond the time limit that he's supposed to be filing stuff. I'm past that. I didn't have an opportunity to file for things within 2 years, within a year, within 5 years. I've been trying to get doctors to commit so I can do that. Nexus letter, soldiers, backing me up with the narrative, writing some stuff. I've been through some of that already, folks. But the most obvious shit, the most obvious stuff that they see right in front of them, they cannot commit to. I have to go to A, B, C, and D in order for it to finally get to the same person that's looking at me, that's saying, hey man, you can't move. That's a critical situation you got there. That's serious. But I can't do anything about it, even though I'm the person that's supposed to make you move forward with it. So sorry, you're going to have to go see, all these people first. And by the time that happens, I would have missed a time spot that I'm supposed to file for certain things. And a lot of these things we don't know about. You have 2-year limit to do this when you have an injury. You have 6 months to do this when you have an injury. You have 8 months to do this when you do that. So when does it become right, people? When does it become? When does it become a responsibility to acknowledge that there is a problem with the standard operating procedures that govern the VA that are supposed to be applicable to me? When does it become a problem that the people that are supposed to get that started for me and not give up on it and follow through with it are part of the issue? When is it going to be a responsibility when there has been lots of negativity toward creating a narrative around my situation that I'm somewhat of a anomaly fraud, and that needs to be corrected? And overall, when does that become a responsibility for people to say, hey, look, this guy has not been getting any medical medicine management? for something we can at least say he maybe it resembles like multiple sclerosis. Well, it resembles multiple sclerosis, so maybe we can try to, create some sort of medical plan for you. When does it become a responsibility to address that in my critical state? Or is it not critical enough? When does it become critical, folks? Do I have to cut a leg off? I already lost limb. Two legs don't work, arm, my eyes don't do this, my neck, my tongue, my mouth, my pectoral, my lattice, my buttocks, urines, I'm having a problem with urine, having a little problem with feces. When does it become more than what I need to get the attention? When does it become? When do I get there? I've asked these doctors to cut my legs off. Hey, would it be better if you cut my legs off and I have some fake legs to try to move with? Maybe I can get around. But no, hey, why don't you go to Winter War? They don't leave people behind. Yeah. Yeah, no, no, I'd rather just sit on the couch and be depressed about my situation. You know, I don't want to build up any charisma, and it's a bunch of stupid BS. So people, please help me. All you have to do, this is all you have to do, is every now and again just send information. Hey, have you been aware of a soldier who has a very, very critical medical situation and is claiming that he's been being uh, he is being medically neglected through the VA. And if you got something better than medically neglect, what is it? If it's not medical neglect, then what is it? It's the same with my TBI. If it's not a TBI, then what is it? It's a tick bite. Oh, okay. Well, let's test for it. Mr. DeLeon, it's not a tick bite. Okay. How about a TBI? No. Oh, no, 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 no. You don't have a TBI, man. There's no way you have a TBI. How can you possibly have a TBI? Yeah, I heard your story. I heard that you got a bump on your head, you hit it here, you got a back injury overseas, you got all that stuff, and then you came back and manifested. Not too long after that, you know. But you put yourself in a situation, Sergeant DeLeon, where now people have to question if you're being truthful or not, because that's more important than what we see right in front of my damn eyes. Especially coming from a professional doctor who sees me and tells my spouse, your husband is lying. But here I am struggling, trying to do some shit. He turns around, hey, your husband's lying. He'll move his body parts and stop faking it when he feels like it. That's what he said. Can you freaking believe it? Yeah, well, I put in my time to take it, to take a hit, and I've been taking it, thinking that I have to go through this in order to get where I need to be. Because yes, it is a little bit of a situation, but it's nothing that we can't solve. It's nothing that we can't say, you know what? The policy says that this is what it is, and of course we believe you, man. Look at you. Just the time frame alone is evidence enough to say, well, you didn't have any time to go jumping out of planes and, you landed and injured your back or you hit your head. No, you're on a horse and you kicked you off and you hit your head. You didn't have no time to do that. You were from your tour to the mission, and then you had this problem. And you were having a problem when you got back. But people rather address the fact that there's a possibility that I'm frauding my situation. They rather blow that up Just they don't even know how to protect the standard operating procedure at the VA. All they know is that for some reason it doesn't seem right that this thing manifested. There was a manifestation in the TBI after the back injury. Started to calm itself down after surgery, and I started losing motor function because it overshadowed any TBI that I had with the pain. But that's impossible. That is not possible, people. They say that is not possible. But if you watch a football player that's making you money and you see that somehow this football player is going to have a TBI, you will give that football player more room to have a possibility of having a TBI than me banging my head, avoiding IEDs, and hitting it twice, having proof of a bump on my head with a picture. Somebody thought it was funny. Coming back and it manifesting, there's no possibility for me, but there is a possibility for a football player who gets injured one time and that soldier's going to be hurt for the rest of his life. There's more than a possibility for that football player, but not for that soldier. I'm right in saying that. Here, a tooth pulled out of my damn face because I have been trying to alert the VA for one, and then this doctor that was to pull my tooth because I got outsourced for it. Hey, be careful. I have the central nervous system. I have a history of losing motor function when you do surgery or something. If the central nervous system is sensitive enough to pick it up, I'm going to lose that function. I'm advocating for myself because the VA doesn't believe it. And even when it happens, they don't believe it. Hey, shit, he lost his arm, his hand completely after surgery. He lost his pectoral after going shooting with the Wegener organization. Hey, he lost his tooth, motor function in his jaw because they pulled the tooth, and now he's faking this, paralysis thing. I sometimes I don't believe that this is happening to me. At first, I'm being the good veteran, like I was the good soldier. And all you guys can sit there and say, "Oh shit, no, man, I would have been on it, man, I would have shit, hell no." You guys are full of shit. Ain't nobody gonna do and go through what I have been through. Oh no, why did it take so long? It took long because you're a fucking moron. You're an idiot. I've been through a lot of stuff, folks. A lot of stuff. A lot of process. A lot of trying to adapt some sort of fictitious SOP for me. And in the meanwhile, I have this bucket full of stuff that I've been hoarding. All these documents that I've been. I've saved everything. I got so much shit that I can't even begin to even. What is this? Oh, what's that? My situation needs to be addressed in a simple way. If they allow me to if the powers that be allow me to just say, well, what is it that you can do to help us help you? Then I'll do it. Hey, well, look, I have a TBI, but this is what's been going on. So this is what I believe should be done. But you can't do that, see? Whereas a lot of my stuff that I have been diagnosed with today was the stuff that I was researching about, and that is in my medical records now because I mentioned it. I see it in my medical records that I said that. So I know that the process that my medical situation is in is being mismanaged. And not mismanaged in a minor way, mismanaged concerning medical neglect. Hey, if you're losing motor function, isn't that a serious situation? We've already diagnosed that it's not a stroke, but that makes it even more critical. Like, dude, you have this cell dysfunctional thing that, it's going to kill you. And I ain't concerned about that. I'm concerned about what I can get today. What are my benefits? How do the benefits help my family? How do we get rid of the narrative? How do I start, collecting on the benefits alone? How do I start getting medical management, medicine? Do they give me steroids? I've been requesting steroids. They give me steroids. Listen to this shit. Listen to this. In the beginning, I would stiffen up. And I do still, but I have steroids that aren't legally given to me by a doctor. I get them illegally. I get steroids because it helps me the most with what's going on. So I stiffen up and I cannot move. The central nervous system stiffened up on me. So I have to be put in the vehicle and sent to the VA. You know what they give me at the VA in the emergency room to unstiffen me? You know what they give me? Steroids. The same shit I'm taking. And so when I asked for it to be put on my medical records, hey, can I start receiving some steroids in the smallest amount, or however you want to give it to me? Can you put it in my medical record so I can get it through the VA in the mail like I get all my other medication? No, you cannot. Why not? Because it's going to hurt you. I'm already hurt. Yeah, but you guys give it to me already. You don't have a TBI, but you give it to me when I'm having a TBI episode. When I have an episode, you give it to me and it works. We have to do more evaluation. Pull the shit out of your ass. That's what I've been dealing with, people. That's what I've been dealing with. And I can't make them give me medication. I can't be put in the right department. What's the department I'm supposed to be in? I'm supposed to be in the trauma or the spinal cord clinic, right? Gone through that? No, you don't belong here. We won't deny you the care through this program, but you don't belong in this department. Well, which department do I belong in? We just don't know. Well, that's a freaking answer. That's going to help me. How about the department of my home? Because that's where I've been. All right? No medical concern to help me with things that I may need in the future. And that's been a big problem with the progression of my issue. I had a wheelchair, right? A manual one, because I was able to move my shoulders and all this when I was biking with the Paralyzed Veterans in America. And it got worse. I started losing more motor function. That didn't help biking, but how would I know? So it was aggravating the central nervous system, and now I've lost more function, the lattice, the arms, the shoulder, more muscles I've lost because of that. If I would have known, I wouldn't have done it. So as it progresses, Guess what I had to get? A new wheelchair. But what kind of wheelchair? Well, one that has a little electronic thing where I have to use my non-dominant arm now to get myself around, because if I try to do a manual one, well, guess what I got? Denied. You know why? Because they didn't believe I have a progressive T. It's not a progressive TBI. Let's not say that. It's a TBI with the dysfunctional nervous system. The TBI is already injured. But what it did is causing like a cell to cell dysfunction. Okay? That's like the secondary part of it. The injury's done. Now it has a cell to cell motor dysfunction issue. And that's the specific of my injury. Right? And it sucks because it's the motor. People get injured, they lose their leg, they lose their limb, but it doesn't affect the motor as much as mine is. Mine specifically on this motor function operation and fine motor function. So I had to get a wheelchair. Well, we can't give you a wheelchair. Why? Because you don't have what you required to give you an electric wheelchair. Yeah, but I losing my motor function. I can't use a manual wheelchair anymore because I can't use my right arm. No, you don't qualify. You don't qualify. I did it for years. So we had to buy one out of the money the VA gives me, which takes away from the shit that I have to be responsible for. So then that breaks down. So then after complaining for years and years and years, I finally get a wheelchair, and they say, yes, you do qualify. Now you qualify. And I don't know why. I'm still in the same state. Actually, I've gotten worse. So whatever work, I don't even remember what the phase was in being worse. But somebody said, hey, he's being medically mismanaged. Maybe that was what happened. Somebody had a consciously, we should give him what he needs, even though he's lying about it, which is what the doctor is saying at the VA. Someday he's going to be able to move and walk. This is all anomaly shit. So I finally got it just not too long ago. Maybe 6 months, 7 months ago. I just got one out of years of trying to get one. We had to get one ourselves out of our own pocket because the VA was has been irresponsible in managing my medical situation and my medical progression. So that's medical neglect. And then all these other things, you know, leg brace. I can't get the steroids. I still can't get the steroids till today, but I get them elsewhere, another way, because that's, I think, the most crucial thing I need right now. That and pain medication. Pain medication I get through my service, which is Pima Pain Center. God bless Pima Pain Center. God bless them. But as far as steroids, it's a necessity, and I'm not receiving it. And who knows what else I can take? Some other brain stuff. But there's no medical management, people, with my critical situation. You have no idea how frustrated I am with it. I'm beyond frustrated. The mental anguish, I'm beyond the mental anguish. I'm like beside myself. That's why I'm doing these posts, because I want to express the unbelievability of what has been happening to me and my family. And it takes my family also to be included, because they have to deal with me, with my ailments. What is he going to wake up tomorrow? Right? What do I do? So that's my whole point, folks. And it's time. It's time. And I want accountability for the mismanagement, for the medical neglect of my case. I want accountability. This isn't just, well, we didn't know and nobody's accountable because we just didn't know. For 8 years, out of all the stuff I've been helping doctors with, out of all the stuff that I've been trying to tell them, hey, I have a TBI. I'm sorry, I took out the bullet before I got here, and it healed up, and so now you don't see anything. I'm sorry. I should have left the bullet in my head. How freaking stupid do I need to, you know, how, I can't even think of stuff to try to convince people, in my frustration, in my anguish that I have to deal with. I'm having trouble trying to express myself to try to get the attention my medical situation needs. And it's not just some attention. It's not just attention because, he wants this attention. No, I don't want a damn thing. It requires attention. It requires the standard operating procedures. It requires responsibility of medical curiosity. These are all standards, people. These are all fundamental things that were supposed to happen years ago for me. But now that everything's backed up and I'm in this purgatory, and I'm done with all any medical. I'm not getting another MRI. I'm not getting anything for anybody. I am not going to help another doctor do something that they think they need to follow some narrative, some negative narrative saying that I don't have this situation. I'm done with these doctors. These doctors have been useless to me. They have been useless to you, paying for these things to get me in these medical evaluations. Lots of money wasted on me, people. Lots of your money wasted on me over and over and over again. And I can see the frustration on these doctors after I complained, hey, can somebody please help me? Can somebody please explain that I have a TBI and throw me through the evaluation? Instead, they're going to throw me through another 10 MRIs, another, PET scan, another EMG, another, whatever. And then they're like, oh, we did what we could. We checked that box. We satisfied the situation. Let's see when he complains again. No concern about the progression of my medical state. No concern. It's irresponsible, people. It's medically irresponsible. I've been taking care of myself. Steroids. I know where I get them. I don't have to tell nobody shit. But it helps me because I got to take care of myself because the people responsible are not giving it to me. They refuse to give it to me. They have every excuse in the book not to give it to me when I've been complaining for years about getting it. I even go and they give it to me in the emergency room. So enough complaining for today. We'll continue with this and another day to get myself some attention. You dignitaries out there, Arizona dignitaries, both Democrat, Republican, Independent, whoever the hell you are, you're not doing your duty to help me. You're not giving it the due attention it needs. I'm sick of your damn letters. Thank you for contacting my office. I'm sick of your damn administration, the people that work for you guys who don't know shit about nothing. Okay? Sick of trying to contact you guys, and you're sitting there like, oh, we have just too many issues in our country right now. How can we possibly deal with you? I'll show you. I'll tell you how I can deal with you when I don't vote for you. Jump on it, people. Please help me get this thing moving. I'll update you and see if somebody breaks through this chain and narrative and say, "Hey, Sergeant De Leon, we're definitely going to not give up on you, and you've been left behind, and we're going to pick it up now." I apologize for leaving you behind. The United States apologizes for leaving you behind. Well, we've got a bunch of moron doctors, a bunch of pussyfoot doctors who want to protect their ass and not have any complaints on their record, but yet they want to be as rude as possible to you because the narrative says that's what's going on. My buddy says you're faking it, then you're faking it, and I'm going to follow my buddy. I'm glad there's people like that out there that looking at me in the state that I'm in want to tell me that I'm lying about my dysfunction, and it's progressing, right? And that's the way it's going to be, folks. So I'm going to make sure that my family gets taken care of. I'll make sure that I get some kind of management before I die. Are you guys, are you doctors sure I'm not going to die tomorrow? Are you sure? You don't even know I have a TBI. You refuse to acknowledge. You've done every test possible. You just haven't applied the SOPs to me. So damn you guys, you doctors and you politicians that are supposed to be helping me. So jump on it. Send a note or something to somebody and say, look, the soldier's complaining. Um, been through a lot. Maybe somebody ought to, give him a call. Marco.a.deleon, the number one at gmail.com, 520-808-8143. They can call me. They can do whatever. I've been all over the place, people. I've been, my information is everywhere. Give it something, and we'll see if we can get me to relax on blaming you. But until then, until I start getting some actual care and some management, and I get some accountability, and I start receiving what I'm supposed to be receiving, and then some, I'll ease up on you. But until then, I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing, and I'm definitely going to try to follow through somehow to try to make people accountable for my situation. And I'm counting on the people who pay the bill for getting all this stuff done at the VA to help me. It's your money, it's your time because you work and you get paid taxes for it in the VA. And I will do the best I can to try to keep you guys informed. Thank you much. Bye.